Hello everyone, welcome back for our history session. We will continue with our lesson 6, that is new questions and ideas. We begin with part 2, the second session. So today we are going to see about Upanishads. So as we know that many thinkers emerged during the time of Buddha. These thinkers started thinking about things which were beyond the earth or the known world, and developed the concept of Atman or the human soul, which is connected to the Brahman or the universal soul. So now these thinkers, instead of thinking about the materialistic things which are surrounding us, they gave a thought on the things which are beyond the earth, beyond the things that are known to human race. So during that time period, they developed a concept which was related to the soul of human beings. And eventually they connected the soul to the Brahman and told that this is the universal soul. They believed that ultimately both the soul and the Brahman were one. Now, what ideas were recorded in Upanishads? So these ideas of having the universal soul, all the duties of the Brahmins, or what is human soul, what happens of the Atman after a body deteriorates or after a person dies. So all such different ideas were recorded in the Upanishads. Now what does Upanishad really mean? It means approaching and sitting near the revered one. So it is generally sitting near the Guru and getting the knowledge from him. These Upanishads were composed in the later Vedic period and they are found in the later Vedic texts. These texts generally are like a conversation between the student and the teacher. Even when we studied about Rig Veda, we said that there are different things which are the different hymns in Rig Veda which are in the form of the dialogues, and one of which we had already discussed when we were learning about Rig Veda. So here also we have certain texts which are in a conversation between the student and the teacher. Now, talking more about Upanishads, at that time, as we said, that there were different thinkers who were emerging. And many of these thinkers who were emerging during this time period were mostly the men who belonged to the Brahmins or who were the Rajas. And occasionally, or very, very rarely, women thinkers also came up. They were recognized as thinkers in that time period. So one of the best example here is about Gargi. So Gargi was a famous thinker who is known for her learning and especially her participation in the debates which were held in the royal courts. The poor people rarely took part in such kind of discussions, debates or learnings, and actually they were not allowed to study the Upanishads. But yes, as we know, there are exceptions for everything. Here there was an exception, a person called Satyakama Jabala, who belonged to a poor family or from a slave family. His mother was the slave woman who was Jabali, and Satyakama was a person who had a deep liking for or the desire to learn about reality, to learn about the Upanishads. But then, as we know, in those days it was not allowed for them to learn about Upanishads and all. But still, there was a Brahmin named Gautama who accepted Jabala as his disciple, and so Jabala also is known as the best thinkers of that time. There were many different ideas that were developed later in the Upanishads, and it was done by one of the most famous thinker, Shankaracharya. He developed certain modern concepts of Upanishads. So about Shankaracharya, we are going to learn in detail next year. So for time being, you are just supposed to remember the name. So now just have a look on a dialogue based on a story from one of the most famous Upanishads, which is the Chanda Yoga Upanishads. The story is The Wise Beggar. Shaunaka and Abhipratin were two sages who worshipped universal soul. Once they sat down to eat, and a beggar came and asked for some food. Shaunak said, "We cannot spare anything for you." "Learned souls," said the beggar, "whom do you worship?" And there was a reply from Abhipratarin that we worship the universal soul. Ah, it means that you know that the universal soul feels this entire world. The sages nodded. Yes, yes, we know that. If the universal souls fill the entire world, it fills me too. Who am I but a part of the world? The beggar said. You speak the truth, O young Brahmin. Then, O sages, by not giving me food, you are actually denying to the universal soul. The sages realized the truth of what the beggar said and shared the food with him. Now, here, when these Upanishads talk about the universal soul, it means each and every living being which has soul. So, we are bound to help each and every living person in order to get peace, or as we say, there is a universal soul. To satisfy that universal soul, to get the most important thing in life, that is satisfaction and happiness, every living person, every living thing is bound to help each other for whatever they need. So here, by this story, we understand that it's not only that you read Upanishads, you study about Vedas, you study the religion, you become a great thinker. That knowledge is not worth if you don't put it to use. So whatever you learn, the values that you learn from it should be put into action so that it will help the entire human race. So this was a story which is related to our Upanishads. Now let's move further and see about a grammarian. So here is a picture of one of the most famous grammarian, who is Panini. Now, who was Panini? The students who have opted for Sanskrit must be aware that who Panini was. So let's see, who was he? He was one of the most famous scholars of that time. Yes, when you talk about Panini, the first thing comes to our mind is that the grammarian who prepared grammar for Sanskrit, a very important language of our Vedic period. This person gets the credit for arranging the vowels and consonants in a special order and then use these to create different formulae like those found in algebra. So those who learn Sanskrit here, you all know that there are some basic structures in grammar which you have to pit pat, you have to learn those so that you can use it for different words. So he is the person who has arranged or created such formulae for you all to learn Sanskrit in a easy way. He has also used these vowels and consonants to write certain rules of language in short formulae again. So as I said, some formulae for grammar and some formula for the use of language he has mentioned. And they are not less, but they are around 3,000 formulae that he has given to the world. So we all should actually know about Panini more. So this was just a basic information about the grammarian Panini. It would be good if you read more and share your readings with the friends during our class. In the next session when we will meet, we will focus more on Jainism. So that is all from my side for today. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay healthy.